I will be illustrating here how to do assignment 4.1 on WAMAP, which is some basic unit conversions, using an assignment on WAMAP here. Now, your numbers will look different. Your problems will be in a different order. Everything is randomized within these assignments, but the basic skills will still be there in this, even if they are different numbers and in a different order. So let's go ahead and jump into this first problem. We are being asked 2 meters is how many centimeters. So we need to figure out how many meters is in a centimeter. So in this case, we would know that 1 meter equals 100 centimeters. And if you don't have that one memorized, get memorizing it. All of the ones that we're doing in this particular assignment are ones that come up enough where you really should have them memorized. All right, now we want to end up with 2 meters. So basically then what we're going to say is, what do I have to multiply the 1 meter by here in order to be able to get 2 meters? Well, that'd have to be a 2, right? 1 times 2 is 2. Well, this is like an equation here, right? We got the equal sign. The left side and the right side have to work together. So what I do to one side, I also have to do to the other. So I'm going to multiply the right side also by 2. And so 100 times 2 is 200 then centimeters. And so then in my box over here, my answer box, I would type in 200. I don't need to type in centimeters or anything like that because you'll notice that that's already written there for me. And then once I have that typed in, I just click the button here that says submit question, and I submit my answer there. If you've done it right, it tells you you got 1 out of 1. Now, if something happened and you got it wrong, it's going to tell you that you did not get full credit on it. Sometimes partial credit, sometimes no credit, but you can keep doing the problem until you do get it right. So definitely keep at it even if you miss it the first time. For our next problem, we want to say how many hours is equal to 10 days. So this one is hours and days. So I'm going to try to figure out how many hours equals how many days. Well, we know that there are 24 hours in one day. And so there's my equivalency. Now, based on that, I want to get up to 10 days. So I'm going to have to multiply this by something in order to get up to 10 days. Well, that would have to be multiplying it by 10. And so I am also going to have to multiply the 24 by 10 as well. 24 times 10 is 240, so it's going to be 240 hours as my final answer. So I just again type in 240 there and then submit. As a side note here, you'll notice we do have a button here that says add work. That's not graded, but you can click on that and it gives you a box where you can type some stuff in. And it's just a place where you can track some stuff that you're doing in case you don't have paper handy or want to give me a little bit more insight into what you're doing when you submit your problem. So then I head on to my next problem. In this case, it's 5 hours is going to be equal to how many minutes? So I need to figure out how many hours are in a minute or how many minutes are in an hour, right? Well, I know that there's 60 minutes in 1 hour. And so I want to end up with 5 hours. So if this is going to end up being 5 hours over here, that means I have to multiply that by 5. And so I also have to multiply the 60 by 5, which gives me 300. So my answer then is going to be 300 minutes. In our next problem, we're dealing with feet and inches. And I know that 1 foot equals 12 inches. And I want to end up with 36 inches. So that means this side over here needs to end up becoming a 36. So I then have to say 12 times what equals 36. And of course, if you don't know it off the top of your head, you can just go out into your calculator and you can do 36 divided by 12 to figure out what that is. It happens to be 3. So 12 times 3 equals 36, which means I also have to multiply the other side by 3. And of course, 1 times 3 will give me 3 feet. And so 3 feet will then be my final answer for this one. This problem is asking us to deal with minutes and hours. And I know that there are 60 minutes in 1 hour. Now, we dealt with a problem earlier that had minutes and hours involved, but in that case, I wrote the hour on the left and the minute on the right. Why did I do it the other way this time? Because I felt like it. Because I happened to read the word minutes before I read the word hours. There's nothing magical about what has to be on the left or has to be on the right here. The only thing that really matters is that we have 60 minutes on one side and 1 hour on the other side, because those are the ones that are equivalent to each other. All right, so in this case, my goal is to get up to 480 minutes. So my minutes side then needs to end up at 480. So in order to be able to figure this out, then I need to say 60 times what is 480. Now, if you don't know that off the top of your head, again, you can divide in order to figure that out, because 480 divided by 60 will tell you what you have to divide by, or multiply by rather. And so 480 divided by 60 is 8. And so that means 60 times 8 is 480. And so that means I would also have to multiply the other side by 8, which means the total is 8 hours. My next problem here says how many seconds is equal to 2 minutes. So I want to create a balance here starting with minutes and seconds. So I know there's 60 seconds in 1 minute. And so then I need to end up getting up to 2 minutes. So that means this side is going to have to become a 2 minutes. So that means I have to multiply by 2. So I'm going to multiply by 2 over here, and that's going to give me 120 seconds. And so my answer then is 120. This next problem sets us up with centimeters and meters. Well, at the start, the very first problem we did was we looked at one where we saw that there were 100 centimeters in every meter. This time we're just going the other direction, but it's still going to work out just the same. In this case, I want to get up to 700 centimeters. So I go to the centimeters side here, and I put in my 700. And then I'm going to figure out how many meters that equals. Well, 100 times what is 700? Well, that'd be 7. And so I'm going to be multiplying the other side also by 7, and 1 times 7, of course, is 7. And so we end up with 7 meters then for our final answer. In this problem, we're saying 360 seconds is equal to how many minutes? So I know that there are 60 seconds in 1 minute. And so if I'm going to get up to 360 seconds, I need to figure out then, what do I multiply that by? 60 times 6 is 360. And I could calculate that by doing 360 divided by 60, and that would tell me the 6 there. And so that means I have to multiply the number of minutes by 6, and so I end up getting a final answer then of 6 minutes. In this problem, we're saying what is 5 feet in inches? And I know that 1 foot has 12 inches in it. If I want to get up to 5 feet, that means I have to multiply by 5. And so I'm going to have to multiply the 12 also by 5, which gives me 60 inches. And then that would be my answer. And then for the last problem on my particular assignment, of course, yours is different, of course. In this case, we have how many days is equal to 144 hours. So we're looking at days and hours. And I know that 1 day has 24 hours in it. Well, I want to end up with 144 hours. So really, it's a question of 24 times what equals 144. And again, you can break out your calculator and actually figure it out that way. It ends up being 6, because 144 divided by 24 is 6. Which means then I have to multiply this also by 6, and so we end up getting an answer of 6 days that is equal to 144 hours.